what makes this case any more credible than the 100-year-old mother with the lizard baby?
Because the lizard baby wasn't born anywhere near Lake Okoboji.
Oka what?
Boji. Okoboji.
I don't really recall a chemtrails focused plot.
We watched the one that about like the
Challenger
Challenger disaster, like which was probably the worst episode of season 1 so far.
I don't really remember that one.
There's like
I don't remember season 1 super well.
There's like a spooky face on Mars that was I don't know, bothering people who worked at Mission Control or something. I don't really remember that much, honestly.
Oh, okay. So that's why the Challenger exploded, is because of a ghost.
Well, I don't know. They did. I wasn't paying like the closest attention. They brought up like the O-rings at some point, and like at the beginning of it, I was like, oh, like they're going to investigate the Challenger disaster or something, and then at the end, they're like talking about fucking O-rings.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you've seen the Jersey Devil episode then. That was
that one,
right?
That one's a fucking that one's also
it's a
not the best. Yeah, not the best.
That one I remember very well. I don't know. I mostly like the show. There's really only like a handful of episodes that I thought were like really bad.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
Even like later in the original run, when like David Duchovny leaves, still there's some good episodes.
Yeah, I've heard
the Terminators in it.
Oh, really? I heard
what's the guy's name?
Like the reboot season was actually not bad either.
Yeah, there's some good stuff. They did 2 seasons in like 2016 or so that have some good stuff in them.
Yeah.
Well, everyone, welcome to Rock Hard Caucus, the #1 X-Files review podcast in Iowa. Evan's watching the X-Files.
Yeah, watching the X-Files. The truth is out there.
And that will give him some... He's in the right mindset to discuss one of the topics I have prepared for today, but we're going to save that one because it's more fun. And I think we should start with the less fun topic, right? I think because I've been kind of prepping the episodes wrong, where I do the bummer at the end and leave everything on a sour note.
Yeah. That's okay.
Yeah, okay. So I want to focus on a couple of proposed bills in the state legislature right now. And I don't know, these people are bad. They want to do really bad things to the people in the state. So that's sort of the shadow hanging over all of this. But I think we can have fun talking about this, and I think there are some silver linings here. Okay, first topic is House Study Bill 158, which is going to have a subcommittee meeting this Tuesday, February 18th, and I know that people are planning on showing up for that and probably going to get yelled at because they're making too much noise, but... But what this is an act relating to minors present at drag shows. So this is something that they've proposed, I think, the last 2 sessions as well. If a man wears a dress and a child sees it, oh, that's a felony. That's dangerous. We need to throw people in jail over this.
Yeah, it's really scary stuff.
This was, let's see, Chairperson Wheeler, Skylar Wheeler. This was his doing. This bill, and it's been the House Education Subcommittee is who will be considering this at a meeting on Tuesday. Let me read a little bit about what a drag show is, according to this bill, according to Representative Wheeler. Drag show means a performance in which all of the following apply. A, not number 1, but A. A, the main aspect of the performance is a performer who exhibits a gender identity that is different than the performer's gender assigned at birth through the use of clothing, makeup, accessories, or other gender signifiers. So that's very broad.
That is, yeah. Gender identity can mean a lot of different things.
Mm-hmm. And exhibiting a gender identity. So it's about their presentation to others. So is this subject to the interpretation of whoever is seeing them do this?
I guess so, yeah. I mean...
Like,
yeah.
they see this as a very strict binary, of course. But if I, for example, if I put on just a touch of eyeshadow on one eye,
yeah, right.
What does that mean? Does that mean that I'm trying to present as something aside from male?
Right. If I get my ears pierced and start wearing hoop earrings, like,
yeah, right.
Is that going to be a problem? Is like androgyny a problem? You know,
I think so.
I think, yeah, you're right. Actually, it is a big problem.
But yeah, I mean, this real people do the things that we just said. Like you and I are very plain looking white men. We don't really experiment much with our presentation.
Yeah.
But you know, I've seen men, people who identify as men, do the things that we just described. Does that mean that they're trying to exhibit a gender identity contrary to that?
Or are they just wearing clothing? Are they just wearing clothing that they find to be, you know, aesthetically pleasing or, you know, complement their style or whatever?
Yeah. What if a dude paints his nails?
What if a man wears a kilt? Is that against the rules? What if he has a bagpipe also?
What if a woman wears a top hat? Is that a drag show?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's A. And then B, the performer sings, lip syncs, dances, reads, or otherwise performs before an audience for entertainment, whether or not performed for payment. Also extremely broad.
Yeah.
Otherwise, okay, so a lot of people have been talking about how broad the definitions are here. This would make it a crime for a 17-year-old to go to a punk show, basically.
Right.
Because, I mean, around here, all the hardcore bands have at least one trans person in them. And there are people singing and otherwise performing before an audience for entertainment.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So that's a drag show now?
Yeah, or like a Fish concert because their drummer wears a dress.
Yeah, right. Exactly, yeah. No, well, are kids allowed at Fish concerts anyway?
Probably not. Probably not a good place for a child, but hypothetically, it's possible.
Yeah. All right, so that's the definition of what a drag show is. It's anything aside from a man wearing a three-piece business suit or a woman wearing a dress and heels. Any people who do not fit that, and they must be performing in some way. Performance is a very broad category as well.
Right.
All right, here's the law here, or the proposed law. No minor shall be present at or view a drag show at a place of business. A person over 18 years of age who knowingly brings a minor to a drag show at a place of business shall be guilty of a Class D felony.
Fucking felony?
Yeah. Well, Class D, that's probably the lowest type of felony,
that is
right?
the lowest type of felony, but it's, insane either way.
Right, shouldn't be a felony at all, of course. A place of business that allows a minor to be present at or view a drag show hosted by the place of business shall be fined $10,000 per minor for each violation of this section. All right. An owner, manager, or person who exercises direct control over a place of business who knowingly allows a minor to be present at or view a drag show hosted by the place of business shall be guilty of a Class D felony. So an adult who brings a minor, they get a felony. Owner of the business gets a felony. The business itself is fined $10,000 per minor. No state agency or public entity that receives state funds shall use such funds to host a drag show. So this is targeting like drag story time at public libraries.
Mm-hmm.
And they would also be fined $10,000 if they did that. A parent or legal guardian of a minor may institute a civil action for damages in the amount of not less than $10,000 and up to $50,000 for each violation of this section. Well, the parents probably are the people bringing the minors to the event.
Yeah, typically, I would imagine. I mean, what a great law.
Yeah. All right, so this was being considered this Tuesday at our state house. And since it has been given a meeting time, that means that public comments have been left on the legislature's website. Hundreds of comments, in fact. When I last looked at this yesterday morning, and our friend Emma Denny, who was on the show recently, was keeping count. I think it was like 200 something comments opposing the bill versus 2 comments in support of the bill. And when I last checked, there still were not any more comments supporting the bill, which is great. That's
Good.
Kind of a silver lining of this, is that obviously the public does not want this. This is like a bad idea for a law. And let me actually read to you these 2 comments supporting the bill. And I'll warn you, there's just nasty, disgusting bigotry on display, but I want people to be aware of.
Really? Someone who would be opposed to this might be a fucking bigot?
Yeah. I don't want anyone to be under any sort of delusions here that the people who want this bill, they're not just trying to, quote, protect children. They hate gay people.
No shit.
All right. Rick Phillips, he wrote this. Do you remember that name, Rick Phillips?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, I'll come back to it because we have talked about him, but it's been a long time.
Okay.
Rick Phillips, who left this comment as a representative of Pella PAC, P-E-L-L-A PAC, he wrote, "We support passage of House Study Bill 158. A drag show is merely a recruitment tool used by reprobates to proselytize minor children."
Yeah, no, I think it's a fun form of entertainment that people of many different, variety, like a lot of people enjoy drag shows.
Mm-hmm.
Like straight people, gay people, trans people, women, men, like it's not really that threatening.
Yeah,
it's really not threatening at all. I enjoy some drag related content. I've definitely watched some Trixie and Katya before. I haven't seen RuPaul's Drag Race. I haven't actually been to a drag show, but
oh really? Okay.
I think drag's cool.
I've like run sound for drag performances and stuff. It's not really my cup of tea, but it's fine. There's a lot of like camp to it. It's
Did
not
you
really
think it was a
me.
recruitment? Was it a recruitment tool to proselytize minor children?
No, I don't think so. I think it's kind of just people hanging out. I don't know. Well, here's what Rick says, though. LGBTQ innocently packages the drag show lie in the form of entertainment to confuse the innocent minds of Iowa youth to accept what is rejected by a vast majority of Iowans trying to protect children. I don't think this is rejected by a vast majority.
No, I don't think so. I think there's a very slim vocal minority who even has anything to say about this. I think most people, it probably doesn't even like cross their mind because, well, I don't know. Who knows what kind of ridiculous propaganda is out there? But
sure. Yeah. I mean, I think despite the political climate in the state and the domination of right-wing politics, I still don't feel like a vast majority of Iowans reject the idea that like sexuality and gender are whatever.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I don't feel like most people are that opposed to gay and trans people existing.
We hope.
Rick continues, the miracle would be Representative Levin, that's Eleanor Levin, realizing the lie for what it is and crossing the aisle to support Representatives Hayes and Hora in passing House Study Bill 158. The bill is not about harming those who have already drank from the poison cup, but protecting those that have not from ingesting the harmful lie of LGBTQ served up in the drag show myth. Protecting children not yet harmed by drag shows takes nothing from LGBTQ.
Oh, so you don't want to take anything from LGBTQ? It's like one sentence, they're like, the harmful lie of LGBTQ, and then they're like, oh, we can like ban this stuff and it won't make any bit of difference to them.
Like, we're not trying to hurt them by any means. These poisoned freaks. Yeah, I mean, first sentence was calling them reprobates. Like, come on, man. You can't really walk that back and pretend that it's like, oh, live and let live.
Yeah.
All right, I said there were only 2 comments supporting this. The other is from Evelyn Nickel, who also wrote this as a representative of Pellapack. Evelyn said, Pellapack is absolutely in favor of this wonderful bill, House Study Bill 158. Protect our children. If reprobate adults want to watch that filth and call it art in quotes, that's on them. But leave the immature, too young, and curious kids alone. Well, come on, if they're curious, you know, let the kids explore their curiosities in a healthy and safe manner.
I mean, that's the thing, is kids are curious, and they're gonna find some fucking content that you probably don't agree with, especially if you're a member of fucking Pellapack, whatever that is.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I know it's
we'll
like...
talk about it.
Okay, good.
I did look it up, and it is named after Pella, the small town in Iowa.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of freaks over there, for sure.
Something's going on in Pella.
Yeah. It's not just tulips. There's a lot of conservative Christian freaks over there.
More from Evelyn Nickel here. Anyone with any common sense knows this is nothing but a grooming tool to normalize perversion and make those who have succumbed feel better about their fetishes. This is common sense, according to Evelyn. This thing that she's clearly thought about a lot.
Yeah.
This has come up multiple times on our show, but common sense is obviously just a bullshit. It's just a way for you to say the thing that I think is obviously true.
It's a way to
common sense.
Stifle any dissent to anything like contrary to what you believe.
Yeah. But it's very hard to imagine somebody believing that this is common sense. Drag shows are grooming tools to normalize perversion and make people feel better about their fetishes. I don't think it's that deep.
Yeah, no, I don't think... I mean, people who are practicing a fetish don't necessarily care about how people feel about them. Or, like, they're not like... They're fine with it. Like, they have a fetish. It's just, like, part of them, Like, they're not...
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, not to
like, we should probably be...
too hard on the
I mean, you shouldn't, like... Yeah, like people like shame is not really a good thing to like instill in people. Yeah. Like, it's probably good to like just be out and proud about it.
But yeah, it's better than being in the closet about.
I mean, everything. That's the kind of society that I want to live in. But I mean, these people, I guess, disagree with that.
Yeah. Well, okay. What was the word I was looking for? Projection. I don't want to hammer too hard on like projection or like this is the old cliche of like, oh well, you're a closeted homophobe or whatever. But that line about fetishes really maybe reveals more about the person writing than it does about their subjects.
Almost like they have a lot of shame perhaps about their
right
fetishes.
Right. And if I'm ashamed, why should anybody else feel okay about who they are?
Yeah.
All right, she ends with all these queers and transgenders have the right to waste their lives, and right is in quotes, but their views for children are corrupt and evil and must not be allowed. Quit targeting kids. So Evelyn Nickel, I had not heard of. I had heard of Rick Phillips. I was not aware of Evelyn Nickel. I Googled her trying to find some stuff about her. I believe she used to be a radio host on a Christian station, KCWN, in Pella, because I found a Facebook post by some group called The Hope of Survivors. They posted this in 2013 that Evelyn Nickel was going to be interviewing Steve and Samantha Nelson on the topic of clergy sexual abuse. And I guess they were having some sort of conference on that subject in Pella in April of 2013. So, 12 years ago, she was discussing the obviously, this is a problem we're all aware of, the rampant sexual abuse that happens in churches. Mm-hmm. And now she has turned that spotlight away from the church. No, it's not the church doing this. It's those damn gays.
Yeah. Maybe worry about the plank in your own eye, right?
Right. And, part of her radio career, I found another page that indicated she was a host at KCWN a while back. I don't believe she's still on the radio. Her name is not listed on their website currently. But I found a page about Roy Moore. You remember that guy, Roy Moore?
Yeah.
Ran for Senate in like 2017 or 18. I forget when that was exactly. Mm-hmm. But it came out that he was like a monstrous pedophile, you know?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And then that guy, Doug Jones, beat him narrowly because of that.
Yes. I forgot about Doug Jones.
Yeah, Roy Moore, he was the one he was like harassing teenage girls at the mall or something when he was a judge.
Right. And I think he like just straight up defended it too. He was like,
oh yeah,
you know, he wasn't like, I apologize for this. He was just like, it's just the way it was. Like,
right. Nasty guy. Well, I had forgotten. I think I remember reading something about this when his name was in the news a few years ago, but he had like considered running for president in 2012. This fucking like district judge from Alabama, I guess, was going to run for president. And he did like a little tour in Iowa as sort of like an exploratory exercise, I guess. Mm-hmm. And, Evelyn Nickel interviewed him on the radio in 2011. Roy Moore, the pedophile.
Jesus.
So she's got a bit of a history.
Who holds that seat now is Tommy Tuberville, who is...
right. The football guy.
Dumbest motherfucker in the entire Senate.
Yeah, okay, let's talk about Pellepack a little bit. Because every time these bills come up to a committee or subcommittees, lobbyists declare their support or their opposition to these bills. And there are two PACs that have declared their support for House Study Bill 158. The aforementioned Pellepack and something called Protect My Innocence. Protect My Innocence. It is ominous. I feel
it definitely is.
I don't like
ominous.
the name of that. I don't like the name of that.
I don't.
I should give a shout out to the people who have declared their opposition. Bitches Get Stuff Done. Mm-hmm. The group, Heather Ryan has called into this show before. The Episcopal Diocese of Iowa. So we got some religious groups opposing this drag show ban. Iowa Atheists and Freethinkers, Jason Bonnell. Mm-hmm. We know that guy. Oh, here's the thing, though. The Iowa County Attorneys Association, they're undecided.
Wow.
And our pal Keenan Crow of One Iowa has also declared their opposition, which is good.
Mm-hmm. Lawyers really got to step up now. Like, you're our only hope. You gotta step up, guys.
Oh, right. Okay, so Pellepack, Protect My Innocence, and the Iowa Minuteman Civil Defense Corps has come out in support of this.
Oh, okay.
It's not just for racism anymore.
It's okay. That's an interesting one.
Yes. Robert Ussery of the Iowa Minuteman Civil Defense Corps, which I'm not sure to what extent that even exists, or if it's just some guy putting up racist signs on the side of the road. But Pellepack, I wanted to talk about this a little bit. I pulled up their website, which is publiceducationlibraries.com.
Jesus Christ.
They should not be allowed to have that domain name. So Pella, P-E-L-L-A, it's the name of the town where this pack is incorporated, or whatever word you'd use for the formation of a pack. But it's also an acronym. Public Education Libraries and Legal Advocacy.
Yeah, and then that's
what that stands for.
They have a fucking Frederick Douglass quote, like, at the top.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess that's pretty par for the course of, like, incite, or, bringing up, like, famous black activists to, like, support your completely, like, ridiculous bigotry.
Pro-life organizations really love to, like, misuse quotes from abolitionists. Mm-hmm. I've noticed that a lot. Steve King, the man himself, has done that quite a bit. The quote from Frederick Douglass is interesting. It is easier to build strong children than to repair broken men.
Interesting. Yeah, that seems like the advice that they should take and worry just about, like, like, if you don't want your kids to see this shit, it's kind of on you, right?
I suppose.
I mean,
It's just that that doesn't break children. It doesn't turn them into broken men.
That too.
Like, yeah, I mean, the context in which Frederick Douglass said that, I mean, I guess I don't know the context, or if he even said it. I mean, it's very possible this is fabricated, but I can't imagine he was like talking about a child seeing somebody wearing like flashy clothes. I don't think that's what he was referring to.
No, I don't think so.
Here's a little bit from the Pellepack website. Children are our most valuable natural resource as a species.
Oh my God.
It's kind of a gross way to talk
That's
about
really,
human beings.
Okay, man. You're again betraying your ideas about children more than any fucking like drag queen.
And then he's claiming that, well, I'm assuming, Rick Phillips wrote this. He's writing that children are being indoctrinated and emotionally abused in schools, public schools and libraries, which is not entirely wrong. I mean, that does happen in public schools and libraries. It's not that they read a book that acknowledges the existence of homosexuality. That's not what is indoctrinating and abusing them, though. It's bad actors, bad people that shouldn't be in positions of authority.
People in positions of power, right?
Yeah, right. Pellepack lobbies legislators to pass laws to protect children from propaganda promoted by Marxist and atheist bureaucracies. Groups that unsuspecting parents need to be made aware of.
Where? What groups? Let's be more specific, please.
Yeah.
The DSA?
Yes. DSA is in our schools. I just remembered that was that a Turning Point USA group that was allowed to form at a high school a couple of years ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Remember that?
That was wild.
Nothing wrong there. Nothing bad going on with that. Legally, we advocate for amending our civil rights code by removing gender identity and sexual orientation. These protections allow dangerous pedophiles access to your children. Huh? I don't think that's why.
No.
I think the dangerous pedophiles had access to your children prior to 2007 when gender identity and sexual orientation were added to the Iowa Civil Rights Code.
I think
in
that's
fact, it
a
might
fair
have been
assumption. I think so.
Like the pedophiles that I know about that were teaching at our school, they were cis heterosexual men.
They absolutely were. Well, and one cis heterosexual woman.
True. Anyway,
at least one.
No queerness about them.
No. Right.
I don't think there was anything else I really wanted to pull from this website, public education libraries. But I did want to just, since Evan doesn't really remember him, Rick Phillips is a guy who I think we talked about in 2020 because he tried to run for Congress. He was in the primary against Marionette Miller Meeks in 2020, referred to himself as the Swamp Fox.
Okay. Yeah, I remember the Swamp Fox now.
Mm-hmm. So I just pulled up his campaign website from back in 2020. You have to use the Internet Archive to see it, but it is theswampfox.net. I have an archive page from 2020. There was a lot of focus on he wanted to revoke. This might not be on his campaign website, but he was also interviewed by local media. He wanted to revoke the official religious designation for Islam, something like that. I don't even know if there's a mechanism to do that.
Yeah, that seems, highly illegal, but there's, who knows what's legal anymore.
Right. But he was very focused on the influence of Islam in Iowa's public schools. It doesn't seem like Pellepack is that focused on that at this point.
Like almost like that's not actually like a thing that's happening.
Right.
I don't remember the Islam indoctrination courses in my public education.
No. He wanted to, his 4-plank platform in 2020, he wanted to abolish the federal Department of Education because of, harmful and divisive identity politics pushed by transgenders, Islamic clerics, and cultural Marxists. That's the fault of the Department of Education.
God damn it.
Well, he's getting what he wants. He wanted maybe now.
Mm-hmm.
So good for him. Secure borders, another thing. It's a big the moon and star, the Muslim symbol. He's got one of those with the big red, like Ghostbusters no thing on it. Plank number 3. The Second Amendment is our right. Man loves guns. Oh, I remember this. I remember we definitely talked about this on the show. The 4th plank of the Swamp Fox's 4-plank plan running for Congress in 2020. Number 4 was, tell me your issue. So he had to fill in the blank as part of his campaign.
There is a contact us section on the Pella publiceducationlibraries.com section.
There is, yes.
Just pointing that out. Mm-hmm. You could potentially tell Rick Phillips about your issue.
Run for Congress again, Rick. Yeah, there's an address on that website too in Pella, Iowa. I don't know if that's where somebody lives or they just like use that as the PAC address, but you can find it on the website. Okay, I also want to talk about this other PAC, Protect My Innocence. Their homepage, protectmyinnocence.org, it just has a photo of a child sitting on the floor of a library looking at a book. And I think we're supposed to be like alarmed that a kid is reading.
Right. That's really scary. Who knows what's in that book?
Yeah, and I mean this kid is
it could be a banned book, you know.
I'd estimate we can't see the cover, so I don't know what book it is, but I would guess the kid is like maybe around 7, 8 years old, and the book looks like it's like maybe 400-ish pages. Like it may not be maybe a bit above his reading level. Not age appropriate, perhaps. Yeah. He's probably seeing words in there he hasn't encountered before, and that is dangerous territory for a kid to be expanding their mind and learning in a library, finding out about stuff he didn't know about before. No, thank you. That's a parent's job only. Okay, so Protect My Innocence, they have like an origin story on their website. Protect My Innocence emerged after a single incident in a small-town Iowa pool during the summer of 2021. I don't think this is the Paul Dahl.
Okay, yeah, incident. That's what came to mind for sure.
But you might remember this. After a 15-year-old girl went topless at the pool because she identified as a male, the community of Pella reeled back as the invasiveness of gender expression took hold in its public spaces.
I mean,
I remember a small group of people freaking the fuck out about this. This is what I remember about this.
That's wild.
Other forms of indecency, the indecency being that a trans person went to the pool. You know, that's basically it. Other forms of indecency have also occurred at other aquatic centers in Orange City, Sioux City, Jefferson, and Seymour. Parents, citizens, and public officials found themselves struggling to find answers that would protect the innocence of their children. Like, nothing happened. My innocence has been violated because I found out that human bodies look different sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. This goes back to what just women choosing to go topless. Like that's, I mean, I guess it's like, you know, emblematic of just policing all forms of gender. Like that. I don't know. You can cut this. I lost my train of thought.
No, but you're right. It's just like this. You needed to start a political action committee because a teenager took their shirt off at the pool. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, who cares? This is a harassment campaign against a teenager, a group of like fully adult people who can't handle the idea of less strict gender rules.
Yeah,
harassing a teenager and creating a PAC that has lasted now 4 years.
Yeah, and
now advocating for a statewide ban on drag shows. This source exists to help guide the conversation of gender identity / LGBTQ plus issues in Iowa and provide effective actions for concerned Iowans. The effective actions being harass teenagers when they decide to come out about their gender identity. And there's a list of books. There's a book list on protectmyinnocence.org. What's this have to do with the pool?
Oh, wow. They got a rating system?
Yeah. What the fuck is this?
we already have like focus on the family or whatever. Like there's already like 400,000 organizations that do the exact same thing. And the thing is, like, they're reading all this shit, like they're engaging with it by like assigning these numeric ratings about how awful they are.
Yeah, it's a 1 through 5 system of rating the books for their content. Number 4, the second highest rating. They say no minors. This book has adult content. No children under 18 should read it. And part of the qualifications for a 4 rating: explicit sexual nudity. It's words. like what qualifies as explicit sexual nudity in the written word?
Well, it says below, depictions of sexual organs in a state of arousal.
I mean, I agree that, like, young children shouldn't read a book that says, like, the man had a hard penis. But it's
right.
It's a book. Like, you're going to freak out about that? Let me see if any of these books got rated a 5. The 5 rating is explicit references to aberrant sexual activities, things that they refer to as sexual assault and battery, bestiality, or sadomasochistic abuse. I think what they really mean is, like, there's gay stuff in it, right?
Right. Yeah, I think that's probably right.
There's a book called Sold.
Oh, I saw Tricks.
Yeah, I see Tricks there too, by Ellen Hopkins. I don't know what that is. Yeah, Sold and Tricks are the only 2 that I see. Jack of Hearts by L.C. Rosen also got a 5 rating. I've never even heard of these books, is the thing.
Wait, there's one called Ground Zero, a novel of 9/11 that doesn't have a rating.
Yeah, they put 9 and 11 are all already numbers, so that no children should be reading this.
Why is this book on this list?
9/11 is way, way higher than 5.
Honestly, that's like, I mean, that's scarier than any of this stuff. Most of these books are just like sex ed stuff, like,
right,
that I can't imagine is too risque.
Do you see Fallout 3 is on here? Or I guess I guess the book is probably Fallout, and it got a rating of 3.
Okay. Oh, Fallout. Interesting. They have a book called Catwoman Soul Stealer.
So there's comics on here? I'm guessing that's a comic. Or no, it isn't. There's a picture of it right there. Sarah Moss's Catwoman Soul Stealer. Not related to the Batman sort of villain, sort of love interest Catwoman. My God. The second half of this list. The first one is for the ebook list. So this is like books you can access through Canopy via the Pella Public Library or whatever. And then the second half of the list is physical books that are on the shelves at their public library. So not only are they harassing a teenager for taking their shirt off at the pool, they're also going into the library and, like, ransacking the shelves, reading every word, looking for the word penis in every book in the library.
Right.
These are weird people.
They also have Anne Frank's Diary graphic adaptation on here.
Mm-hmm. That got a 2. Which means some content may not be appropriate for children under 13. Yeah, that's a story of a family hiding from the Nazis. You don't want people reading about that. You don't want kids to know about what happened.
Oh yeah, The Perks of Being a Wallflower gets a 4. Wow.
I just realized how long we've been talking about this, because I do want to get to the other bill as well. But I pulled out a couple of public comments on the subcommittee meeting that were opposed to this that I thought were interesting. This one comes from a guy named Will. And part of his comment, he said, he says that this is an overreach for the state government to ban minors from drag shows, and it will have unintended consequences. For example, if Aerosmith ever goes on tour in Iowa, we cannot bring our children, as Steven Tyler commonly cross-dresses in his daughter Liv Tyler's clothes.
It's an interesting one. I mean, it's like kind of what we were talking about earlier, but not what immediately comes to mind when I read this bill about like the possible like negative effects.
Yeah.
Not a big Aerosmith fan.
Well, I don't think he should do that.
No, I don't.
Wear his daughter's clothes? That's a weird relationship.
Yeah, he's a creep for sure.
But that has nothing to do with like, that's not drag. That's like a weird father-daughter relationship.
Yeah, that's a man who's horny for his daughter, which is...
And that is bad.
That is a problem. It is a problem.
Okay, and then I just wanted to give a shout-out to Andrew, who is a friend of this show, who left a comment where he said, I vehemently oppose this bill. To call House Study Bill 158 crap would be an insult to crap. Which made me laugh a lot. It's a very funny comment. All right, so fuck that bill. I know some people are going to Des Moines on Tuesday. I think that they absolutely need to shut this down. This is an effort to ban trans people from public life. It is what it is.
Right.
And it should be opposed loudly.
Mm-hmm.
Now, a bill that we can have a little more fun with regards chemtrails. This is House File 191. Give me a second here. I have actually a video related to this one that I'll play at least one clip from, because we have gone over time discussing the drag ban. Okay, House File 191. You know Jeff Shipley's on this one.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Surprisingly, a lot of other legislators have their names attached to this. And I don't know all of their first names, but I have a list of last names here. Shipley, Fett, Hayes, Golding, Smith, Meyer, Wengren, Seek, Bowden, Andrews, Gustav, Williams, Cisneros, Young, Thompson, Deacon, Thompson, Gelback, Sitzman, Sorensen, Wheeler, Wood, and Nordman. This is the number of Iowa state representatives concerned with geoengineering.
Right. Yeah, it's a very serious issue. It's also very funny because the bill, like the first thing, it's like, oh, it's an act relating to the intentional emission of air contaminants into the atmosphere, which, sounds pretty good. I generally don't want, like
that
people
on its own. Yeah.
Yeah. They're like spraying pesticides in the air, like.
So you think this could be related to some sort of like agricultural?
Yeah, it seems like almost
regulation.
like they're talking about, like they're, trying to ban certain, like actual contaminants. But no, that's not at all what it's actually about.
No. This is regarding geoengineering. Notwithstanding any other law to the contrary, reading straight from the House file here, the intentional emission of air contaminants into the atmosphere within the borders of this state, when such emissions occur for the express purpose of affecting temperature, weather, or the intensity of sunlight, is prohibited. So they are banning weather control chemicals.
But again, you can use airborne contaminants to kill living creatures. Like that's fine.
Yeah. Well, it's not with the intention of changing the weather or altering the sunlight. So they had a meeting for this one the other day. The House Environmental Protection Subcommittee, they met on the 11th, Tuesday of last week, to discuss this bill. There are, of course, a number of public comments on this one as well. I'm just going to pick one at random and tell you what these people are concerned about. The people who, let me see here. So this is someone named Kathy who left this comment. I'm so thankful to see this bill. Please support this bill. The constant spraying has negative effects on everything. As others have mentioned, God doesn't need our help.
Okay. He doesn't? I thought he did.
Here's someone named Brian who commented, we've been told for years that this is just condensation from the jet engines, but we know that is false. Okay, so you know what he's talking about.
He knows.
Chemtrails.
He knows.
If it were true, that would mean that pilots are shutting off and turning back on their engines in flight. That's the only thing that would cause an airplane to leave a trail, is the pilot shutting off the engine and turning it back on while flying. That's what would cause condensation. Look, I don't know enough about like how airplanes work to dispute that seems weird to me.
Yeah. I don't think that's how it works.
We've seen videos even telling us that they're doing this to combat global warming, stratospheric aerosol injection. Why on earth, no matter how much you get paid as a pilot, would you spray this crap on your loved ones and any future children that might come along? On top of that, you were doing irreversible damage to our ground and water. This spraying, geoengineering, chemtrails has got to come to an end. Let's rewind a bit. Irreversible damage to our ground and water.
Mm-hmm.
It's the white lines that I see in the sky doing that.
Right.
Not anything that might be happening a bit closer to the ground.
It's those damn coastal liberals using our state as flyover territory.
Yes.
That's really the problem.
Why do they call us flyover country?
Yeah.
Because they're flying over.
They're dumping their fucking unspecified chemicals on us.
Spraying poison on us. Just let us be. Let us concentrate our animals into very small areas right next to the waterways. let us dump way too much fertilizer on top of our cash crops. Again, right next to the waterways. That's good, healthy living. These damn planes, I don't know what they're spraying on me. You know what? I recognize a name here in the comments that comes up in the video. All right, before I play a clip from the video, I also checked into the lobbyist declarations for this bill, House File 191, the anti-chemtrails bill. Let's see. The Iowa chapter of the Sierra Club has come out against this. Iowa atheists and free thinkers are opposed to this bill. They're not thinking quite free enough if they don't believe in chemtrails. The only declaration in support of this bill comes from Catherine Bogards, who is like, most of the time you've got the lobbyists, like their name, and then the like organization they're representing. This is Catherine Bogards, whose client is Catherine Bogards. So she's just declaring her support for this as a person, an individual. Catherine Bogards, I looked up. And you may be shocked to learn this, but Catherine Bogards is also from Pella, Iowa.
Oh, man.
What is happening in that town? How many people live there? Pella's not even big, right?
No, it's like 20 or 30,000 maybe?
10,000.
Oh, okay.
It's only like 10,000 people. How are so many super active political actors, how are they living in this small community? What's going on in Pella that makes people so crazy? I also found her Twitter, Catherine Bogards.
There are some crazy ass comments on here.
You find any good ones?
Yeah, there's this Jennifer Nazario.
Mm-hmm. It's the one I almost read, but I recognized her name.
Take the CO2 out of our air and crops will not thrive. I guess she's talking about global warming. Which I mean, I guess I don't fucking like the whole chemtrails thing is so vague. Like they can't even agree. Like the chemtrail activists can't even agree on like what the purpose of this shit is.
Right. Yeah. It feels a little bit bad to like poke too much fun at this because it's clearly like a fixation of a lot of mentally ill people that like, something bad is happening. They see that there's these lines in the sky and there's some sort of association there and they fixate on it and they believe that, yeah, this is the government targeting me and my community somehow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's just sad. Like when I was a kid 50 years ago, our lakes and ponds in Iowa were clear. And now they're not because of chemtrails. Like, yeah. Give me a fucking break, man.
Yeah, I'm begging you to look into agricultural practices in this state.
Do the right thing and repent before it's too late.
Yes, if you do not vote in support of this anti-chemtrails bill, you will be going to hell.
It doesn't take a doctorate in environment to understand how greed is motivating our representatives to push and support these deadly policies. I didn't know there was
an economy.
Also, yeah, the idea that there's like pro chemtrail policies, like there's these bills that authorize. Well, I don't know. I guess there's
the shadow Congress that does that.
I did a Control F for HARP, and I didn't get any results.
Really, that's surprising.
Yeah. The conspiracy theorists aren't even good anymore. Like, they're not even trying. They're not even trying anymore. It's sad.
Yeah. Catherine Bogard's most recent retweet, IRS agents confirm that you are not required to pay income tax. Retweeting an RFK Jr. video about MAHA, Make America Healthy Again. You've heard that one? Yeah.
Yep.
Retweeting, Doge just announced their plan to bring back trillions of dollars stolen by corrupt politicians. So this is just an absolutely credulous moron, Catherine Bogarts. Let me pull up this video for you. So I got to shout out our friend Keenan Crow for bringing this to my attention. The Iowa Standard did a live stream in the room as this was happening, this hearing on the chemtrails. Audio is very bad, but you can mostly understand what people are saying. Let me give our friend J-Dog Shipley a moment to introduce this bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the Environmental Protection Committee. The people of District 87 are pleased to present for your consideration House File 191, a bill to prohibit geoengineering. At this time, I do wish to bring the committee's attention to Senate File 142, which is a superior legislative document I would also implore the committee to consider. This legislation was inspired in part by the state of Tennessee and their recent law, as well as dozens of other U.S. states considering their own geoengineering regulations. This is in addition to discussions happening in the European Union, and as well as congressionally mandated policy documents produced by the Joe Biden White House. There is no doubt the potential for polluting atmospheric activity, as described in the bill, the potential for cloud seeding, for weather engineering exist.
Cloud seeding and weather engineering.
Mm-hmm.
This is what's being done nefariously to harm us. And you can see, Evan can see anyway, this is a packed room full of people, standing room only. Jeff brought his constituents to Des Moines. This is what he's passionate about, is stopping chemtrails. Brought out dozens of his hometown people to speak on this issue. And let's hear from a couple of them. Here, someone named Kim speaks right here. Let's hear from Kim.
Hi, my name is Kim Junker. I'm a landowner and farmer. I just want to keep it short and simple. The only thing I want to say is, how dare anybody play God with our weather, with our atmosphere? That is nobody's business.
You're not supposed to be clapping and make a bunch of noise in
my
there, but
fucking God.
She's a farmer, by the way. Kim Junker, funny name also.
Good name.
How dare anyone play God with our atmosphere, our environment? I mean, farming, like, you're kind of...
Yeah, like...
Should we be meddling with the plants that grow out of the ground that God put there?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Should we be, like, digging up fossil fuels from beneath the ground and then burning them and releasing gases into the atmosphere?
Look, if God wanted soybeans to grow right here in this field, he would have put them there. I don't think we should be meddling with God's plan.
That's so fucking true. I think that all the farms should be reclaimed by prairie land.
Yeah, not a bad idea. Let's see. Oh, Robert Nazario. I assume the spouse of Jennifer Nazario, whose comments you read a moment ago. Let's hear from Robert for a second here. He mentions something called Clear Skies, Iowa, which I may need to look into more in the future.
My name is Robert Nazario from Hardin County. I live out in the country. Grew up in other areas, but this has been my home since '94. I want to say to all you guys that don't enter comments on their docket for these bills, please do. We have an overwhelming body here, a lot of folks, and I can see how we all feel about this. In a statement I made online, statement in support of House File 191, the practice that exists and hidden from the public discourse is unconscionable. Geoengineering is real. Cloud seeding and chemtrails are real and have had a devastating effect on everyone. This practice over our skies and nation must end. Folks must be engaged in this process, and we the people demand that our legislators do something about it now. End the stratospheric aerosol injection. Follow Clear Skies Iowa and other groups. They've been hitting on this for a long time.
I worked for NOAA for 2 years. That's how I started my seagoing.
What did he say? He works for NOAA?
Yeah.
I think that's the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration.
Mm-hmm.
I believe is what he's saying there. Should we really be trusting a man who was once
Yeah,
employed by the government agency that is likely doing this to us? He doesn't really get into specifics about like what are the damaging effects of this. Evan, have you ever noticed a chemtrail in the sky? You ever looked up and seen one of those lines?
They're called contrails, but yes, I have.
Do you feel that you experience any adverse effects from being under a chemtrail?
No, I haven't. Though cloud seeding is a real thing, and there is potentially. Yeah, I admit it. I mean, it's more of a thing that I think they did it like a bunch in like the 70s. Like it's not something I think that's like really being done on a wide scale anymore. And I do know that they did use like silver iodide or stuff that's like not necessarily super great for human life.
Right. Well,
but that's not, again,
it,
these people are not talking about any of that. They're talking about like nothing, literally nothing.
Stuff they're imagining or, you know. Mm-hmm. Okay. Other notable speakers here. Todd McGreevy, he spoke at this hearing. He is the publisher of the River Cities Reader, which is a Quad Cities like alt paper, which I'm familiar with because somebody reviewed a couple albums I played on in the River Cities Reader. So I was like really like excited that their publisher is like a chemtrails conspiracy theorist. That's very cool to learn about. Maybe the most important clip from this video, the one I really wanted to get out here, comes from a concerned citizen named Ashley. It's not my wife, but a concerned citizen named Ashley had something to say about this situation.
Hello, my name is Ashley Ruge, and I've been a resident of...
Did you say Ashley Loogie?
I think you said McGee, maybe. But
oh, okay. I heard Ashley Loogie. People have such funny names. Kim Junker, Ashley Loogie.
Iowa almost my whole life. I have 3 children. We live in Bonnaroo, and I've been watching the skies for 4 years now, and I'm not crazy. They're spraying things in our skies. My children have been the sickest they have ever been in their life. We are an organic, only eating family. We are a non-vaccinating family.
Actually, I have another theory for why your children are the sickest they've ever been in their lives.
Yeah. I mean, like, I don't know. I can't help but feel bad for this person.
Yeah.
I mean, they're obviously going through some shit. And it sucks that their kids are sick, but I don't know if this is the right venue for addressing that.
Right. We are an organic family. We are a non-vaccinating family. I think that organic food, that's probably cool.
Yeah,
but the other one,
fine.
you probably
might need to change your approach.
you might try some vaccines that they do prevent some illnesses in my experience. Yeah. And this one, like, this is like the darkest comment. This is why I wanted to play it. It's because it is like, this is a funny situation in a lot of ways, but it is very sad that this is what people are clinging to as like, this is the source of all my problems, actually. So let me allow Ashley to continue.
And my children have been sick for 6 months straight with a respiratory illness that will not go away, that our pediatrician and the urgent care doctors and every other doctors that I'm hearing all over social media platforms are saying it is a new form of a respiratory illness that we just have to let it take its course for 8 to 12 weeks, and then your children should be fine, but there's nothing we can do for you. I'm sorry. They're just going to have to wait. The school days that have been absent for our children across the state of Iowa, and specifically the Des Moines area, is rapidly increasing. Schools are closing. Teachers are not going to school because they are sick, so then our children have substitutes. Their curriculum is being changed because of that. Our children are not thriving in school the way that they should be.
Do you have a theory for why this is happening?
Yeah, there's influenza A. There's RSV, there's COVID.
Right.
It's been a really bad year for all of the above.
It's been
like,
been
come
really
on,
bad,
man.
like 5 years or so for any consciousness of public health. There's been a very strong backlash to any efforts to curtail rampant spreading of illness in the past few years. Like you just said, you don't vaccinate your kids. Why not? Somebody told you that shit's dangerous? Well, now you're experiencing the consequences of never vaccinating your kids, never taking any preventative measures from everyone in your family, getting every illness. All the teachers are also getting sick. There's no worker protections for like missing work because you're sick. All that shit gets chiseled away from us. Mm-hmm. And you know why the teachers are getting sick? Because none of the fucking families in your community are getting vaccines because you've been convinced that the vaccines are the danger. It's not planes in the sky spraying your children to give them a mysterious respiratory illness. I wonder how this mysterious respiratory illness came about. Could it be just allowing viruses to ravage all the bodies in the state and mutate, kill us all? Mm-hmm. It's chemicals in the sky. I've been watching this, guys. I'm not crazy.
Yeah.
If they are in school, then let's have them be in school and be taught what they need to be taught and not be in a classroom full of sick children. We are killing humanity by spraying the skies. Slowly. It's poisoning us. We no longer can just go to the doctor and say, hey, eat our organic foods. Eat healthy. Drink clean water.
When did that happen?
What kind of doctor are you going to?
Yeah, come on, man. Jesus.
I go to the doctor says, have you tried drinking water?
Have you tried drinking water? Have you eaten your veggies?
Take medicine even that's not helping. Everybody is sick because they're spraying us. And I'm asking to please stop for the children. Please stop.
Oh.
Isn't this horrifying? Like,
yeah, it is.
Like, Facebook posts have convinced you that COVID is not real, but chemtrails certainly are. There are solutions to public health crises, and you are being distracted from them and polarized against them. Mm-hmm. Multiple people who spoke at this celebrated the MAHA agenda, the RFK Jr. Approach to public health. So we got a lot to look forward to on this front.
Yeah, it's messed up. And also just like they're like talking about like, oh yeah, they're doing this to like combat climate change or something. And it's like we just passed the the Paris Agreement like accord, like the 1.5 degrees, whatever it is. Threshold. It's like, they're doing like wide scale like geoengineering, but like apparently it's like not doing shit. Like it's just like, come on.
Well, it's just an excuse. The sheeple will buy it if we say it's to combat climate change, but it's really to poison everyone in small towns and rural communities.
They're not doing shit about this. Like this isn't happening.
I just want to say for our senior citizens.
Introduce yourself first.
Oh, I'm sorry. My name is Cheryl Semick. I live in Pleasant Hill. I'm kind of a new Iowan. I came from Illinois to Iowa, but I watched my mother die of Alzheimer's. And she was a woman. She was one of the first women Air Force and served her country honorably.
Okay, so I don't think she's blaming chemtrails for the Alzheimer's, but I'm a little suspicious. Like, you're telling me your mother flew a plane? Well, where are the chemtrails coming from? Planes.
Good point.
So you're guilty of the sins of the mother.
Taught radar and Morse code to cadets. And she was fighting this her whole life. I mean, not her whole life, at the end of her life. And it wasn't until I found out that aluminum was causing, as one of the main causes of Alzheimer's.
Okay, never mind. She does blame chemtrails.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm pretty
Alzheimer's.
sure that's what she was getting at.
That I started looking into it. And when I moved to Iowa in 2018, I was in West Des Moines. I couldn't go out the door without the door blowing off of the hinges and carry my groceries. And I thought, this is weird. Why is it so windy here? I just thought it was West Des Moines.
You ever notice it's really windy in West Des Moines?
Yeah, it's really windy in the state of Iowa.
Do you know why?
Flyover. Coastal liberals flying over.
Yeah. I mean, the planes don't even need to be dumping chemicals into the sky. It's just that they're so fast flying over us, they move the wind around.
Right.
They can't get across the state fast enough.
I didn't know that I had to look up. So I started watching the patterns. I used to date the times that they would spray out of blue skies within a half an hour to an hour. We don't have any more blue. We don't have any more sun. No sun, no vitamin D. All of this stuff goes together, and they figured it out, and it's genocide.
It's genocide.
Oh my God. I wonder if Cheryl has any thoughts on the actual genocide that we've all been witnessing for the last year and a half.
I don't think she does. I think that would be giving her too much credit.
Yeah.
It's not even something that she's even probably aware of at all.
Just a refusal to look reality in the face, but instead to look to the skies and imagine what they're doing to us with all those lines in the sky. I love what's implied with what she was describing there, where like she keeps track of the patterns. She writes down what she sees in the sky. The trails are in the sky, and within hours the sun goes away. I mean, what the fuck? I've noticed.
That is weird.
I've noticed every time I see a chemtrail, within like 8 hours, the sun is just gone.
That's messed up, man. I can't believe they're doing that.
The color of the sky, I don't know how you people haven't noticed this. The color of the sky goes from like a lightish blue to it gets way darker. Darker.
And sometimes it's like orange and like that's not natural.
No, sometimes I see a purple in the sky and it's like, what chemical could be causing that? The sky was never purple when I was a kid.
Right. And sometimes if you're like out in the country and it's really dark outside, there's little pinpricks of light in the sky when it's dark.
Yeah, this is what city people don't realize, is that there's a bunch of like, that has to be metal, right? Metal is reflective.
Those are weapons that are pointed at us.
it's little chunks of aluminum still up in there. All I'm saying is my memories of being a child, the sun was always out.
Yeah. I mean,
they never covered up the sun with chemicals when I was a kid. And when I was a kid, I didn't have all these health problems either. I mean, what are they doing to us? All right, I'm going to play just a very short clip to end our adventure here with the chemtrail enthusiasts.
My name is Gordon Lint.
Gordon Lint. Hall of Fame name, Gordon Lint.
That's good names today.
Gordon Lint, Kim Junker, Ashley Loogie. We love them all. So that's what's been concerning the people of Iowa this week. We're afraid of drag queens and we're afraid of chemtrails. Two
definitely
major problems.
Two biggest issues that are facing our country right now.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, hopefully good news coming soon. On both fronts. I hadn't considered this, but perhaps one causes the other.
Yeah. I'm surprised they're not making that argument, actually.
Yeah. Do you think the chemicals, I have heard people claim things like that,
Yeah.
Turning the frickin' frogs gay,
right.
That was kind of the same argument.
Yeah.
Yeah. I looked up, I saw a line in the sky and I suddenly felt, maybe I'm not a man.
I looked in the sky and I thought it was very beautiful. And I was like, I might actually appreciate beauty. And that would be very unmanly of me.
It's kind of gay.
So, it's kind of gay.
All right. Yeah. Good exploration of two very important subjects this week.
I'm going to go listen to Cloud Busting by Kate Bush to clear my head of this.
People, if you look up in the sky and dial this number on your phone, 319-849-8733. Tell us what you see and tell us how it makes you feel. And we can probably get to the bottom of this. I think that we have the resources to solve the geoengineering problem. If you dial our number, 319-849-8733 on your phone, look up in the sky, see if you see any weird lines, and just document the health effects that you may be experiencing because of the lines that you saw in the sky. We can also be reached by mail, P.O. Box 5336, Coralville, Iowa, 52241. Send us a chemtrail. You can probably package one of those.
Yeah. Don't do that. Don't send us various, chemicals, powders.
It's probably not good. It's probably not good for me to ask for that.
No.
Open a package and an aluminum dust cloud comes out. Or email rockhardcaucus@gmail.com. Other things to plug this week. The special election in Iowa City is coming up. March 4th is Election Day. It's only a couple weeks from now. Our friend Oliver Weilein is running for office and did very well in the primary, so I'm expecting good things in the general. Again, March 4th is Election Day. All residents of Iowa City can vote in that election, and you can even vote early right now. Well, not today, it's Sunday, but during the week at the county auditor's office, you can vote early if you like. Mm-hmm. For Oliver Weilein, please, if you listen to this show, you are an enemy of Ross Nusser, and you will not vote for him.
It seems like a very easy decision to make, honestly.
Yeah. We have more podcasts for you to listen to at patreon.com/rockhardcaucus if you would like to hear some more podcasts. Evan and I just finished reading a book called 2 Cents to Save America by Michigan entrepreneur Perry Johnson. And in fact, we're going to do a bit of a wrap-up episode on Perry Johnson as soon as we finish recording this right now. So look forward to that at patreon.com/rockhardcaucus. And I got some music to close us out, local music. If you make music in the state of Iowa, I want to hear it, and I want to play it on Rock Hard Caucus. Go to our website, rockhardcaucus.us. There's a link at the top where you can submit your music to be played on Rock Hard Caucus. You could also just email it to us. But we're going to play right now, to end the episode, Punishment by Valley 2. I think formerly known as Glab 2. I think the album that this is on, the mixtape CD, is called Glab 2. Glab is his real name, and he was performing under the name Glab 2, but I think he switched the name of the album and the artist's name or something. Now he is known as Valley 2. But it's a cool, he opened for us at the album release show last week, and this is an omnichord heavy album. So if you like the omnichord, you'll like this.
I do like the omnichord. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, so this is at valleyii.bandcamp.com. So Valley 2. All right, thanks everybody. Thanks, Evan. Watch the skies.
Yeah, beware. Be scared. Make sure that you're just living in fear all the time.
That's
it's really healthy and good.
Fear the entire atmosphere around you, and fear all other people you see that deviate from you in any way. Mm-hmm. Good luck. Bye.